I'm getting tired of Madden. Like I've played Madden for a whole year. Yeah. So you know what? We're gonna make an all-black franchise, baseball franchise. Let's get it. Shh. Welcome to the Austin Senators franchise on MLB The Show 22, where we are building an all-native Black American MLB franchise in honor of all of the Black baseball players who have paved the way to where we are now. I wanted to do this franchise for a few reasons. Number one really is I've always loved MLB baseball games. I mean, to me, they're the most fun, immersive sports games that you can get lost in. So that's the first reason why we even out here. And then also, man, growing up in the 90s, we played a lot of street baseball. But I never really got into trying to be a ball player, right? For the most part, baseball was not that cool of a sport, so to say. We focused on getting better at football, basketball, things like that. And as I've gotten older, I really wish I got into the sport a little bit more. I mean, my dad and my older brothers both played baseball. And my grandpa, man, from what they told me, was a Negro leaguer. As a player and a manager. He was really good. My dad and my uncles told me stories about how good he was. So this is also a tribute to him as well. I've gone through, I made a chart of every native Black baseball player that I can find on MLB The Show, even the minor league rosters. So I may have missed a few, but I did my best with the baseline knowledge that I have. So here are a couple of interesting stats that I found in terms of the amount of Black baseball players in MLB, according to the Show 22. So as you can see here, we went through and we made a list of all the players we identified that were native Black Americans, Black people who were born here in the States. So can't be from Dominican Republic, can't be from overseas in any way. You had to be born in America. We went through and we did it by position. So as you can see here, in terms of the pitchers, we have 23 pitchers. I put some color-coded some of the names because those were the people that we were going to go after. You can see here we also looked at the salary. 8.2 is like 8.2 million. So anything that's above that zero is a million. Anything below is 50,000, 800,000, that kind of thing. So we also did the ratings here, and we went after who we thought we could get on our team. Let's switch over to the relief pitchers. You can see there's looks to be about 26 relief pitchers, Black relief pitchers in MLB The Show. Now there could be more. This is just who we saw when we took our few passes through each roster. And there's a couple in free agency as well too. So we didn't go through too many of the free agents. We just looked real quickly and went there. Catchers, you can see only 2 catchers. No, there's actually 3. This list is a little bit off because we ended up getting a player by the name of Luis Campesano that's on the team. So this list has been adjusted just a little bit. Here you go. Here, these are, I'm sorry, that was closing pitchers. Here are the catchers. Luis Campesano is our catcher. So we switched and see there. This was a hard position to fill out because you're supposed to have 6 catchers on the roster. And as you can see, there's only 4 identified Black catchers in MLB The Show. First base, 13, well, really 12. Second base, 15, Black second baseman. Third base, got 13. Shortstop, 20 or so. And then outfield, there's just a lot. We just put center field, but really it's just all of outfield. And that list I think most of us probably knew that list would be the longest. And looks like we have about 77 identified native black players that are in MLB The Show that play the outfield. So just wanted to show you some of the thought process that went behind identifying the players that end up making the roster of the Austin Senators. So some of my goals on this franchise, of course, we want to make the playoffs and see if we can win a championship. But really, we want to become more knowledgeable about baseball and its black players as a whole. Like I said, I don't know much about baseball. I know the basics. The history of it all, I'm not too familiar with. Some of the rules still, I'm not all the way, I don't know what a balk is. Somebody's gonna have to explain to me what really a balk is. So, hopefully by the end of this series, we got a little bit more knowledge about what baseball is and some of the intricacies in the game. So, and then of course, we want to identify who the next generation of young black players that are coming up in the game that we may not know about that end up on this team because they're in the minor leagues. And, we can't fill out a whole roster here of all-star black players just because we're trying to stay within the rules of the salary cap, and we're using the Texas Rangers base roster, and we're making our trades from their roster, and we're not going to do anything that's ultra unrealistic in terms of the trades. Now, of course, having an all-black team at baseball is a little unrealistic in itself, but we're not going to get too deep into that. So let's get into what our final roster looks like. And we can look at the pitchers first. You see here we got Jordan Hicks and Marcus Stroman, who will be our two top dogs coming out as our starting pitchers. Take a look there at Jordan Hicks and some of his stats, and Marcus Stroman, who's not really doesn't have a lot of velocity on his pitchers, but he has a lot of movement on there. So Marcus Stroman, I believe, is probably going to end up being one of our better players. And the people who finish out that rotation, you got Tejan Walker, Tuki Toussaint, Taylor Hearn, and Hunter Green. And now let's move down to our relief pitchers. Devin Williams is going to be our closer. I couldn't find any closers that were top-notch black closers, so we're going to take one of the top-notch relief pitchers and we'll turn him into a closer. So that's the role that Devin Williams is going to play. Dylan Tate, Keon Keela, Amar Garrett, and Justice Sheffield will also be some of those relief pitchers as well. As far as the closing pitchers on our AA team and our AAA team, Aaron Fletcher will take care of that. Now let's move over to first base, and you will see we are going to be led by Josh Bell. He's starting off for us there, switch hitter, 29 years old, B overall. And then backing him up would be Bobby Bradley. Go over to shortstop, we got Marcus Simeon, who started off on the Rangers, so we didn't have to make a trade for him. He's obviously going to be one of our best players, a potential 31 years old, great durability. Looks like he can play the infield at a very high level, and he's going to be one of our better power hitters. Backing him up, we got Royce Lewis and Xavier Edwards. Royce is only 22 years old with a potential, and then Xavier, a potential 22 years old. Let's move over to shortstop. You got CJ Abrams. He is 21 years old with a potential, very fast at 88 speed. Looks like he's just going to be somebody that we're going to have to develop up and see if he turns into a star for us. We already talked about Royce Lewis. Jordan Lawler is going to be one of our players, our shortstops, that is in the minor leagues with a potential, 19 years old, born in Texas. So this is someone we will definitely keep our eye on as the franchise moves on and we bringing up and cultivating that younger talent. Let's move over to third base. Keep Brian Hayes, one of our best players on the team, a potential, 25 years of age. The slight information I know about him is they say he plays third base like a shortstop. So he's probably one of the best defensive third basemen out there. We got him on our team, age 25 years old. And then Austin Martin is going to be somebody that we're developing in our minor leagues, a potential 23 years of age. Let's go down to our catcher, and that's Luis Campesano. I remember I mentioned him earlier. He's our catcher, a potential 23 years of age, and then Chadwick Trump and Harry Ford are going to back him up. Harry is in the minor leagues, a potential 19 years old, so he's somebody that's definitely we will think about moving up at some point. Now let's move on out to the outfield and start on the left field. Willie Calhoun, 27 years old, see potential, so we'll probably be looking for somebody to draft to take over his position. Bubba Taylor back there, 23, see potential. I don't know if he's going to be somebody we lean on. Kyle Lewis, I got a feeling he is going to be our leader. 26 years old, a potential. I believe we got him from the Mariners, so excited to use him out here. 6'4", 26 years of age, like I said, and he's a power hitter, so we want to see if he can really make something happen. Again, that's Bubba Thompson. And then Mookie Betts, that was a big time player that we brought in. I think he is a household name. I even know who Mookie Betts is. We wanted to get Aaron Judge, but we just didn't have enough talent on that Rangers team to make that happen. And again, we're not trying to just create an all-star black team. We were trying to really stay in confines of what we believed were fair trade. So Mookie Betts ends up playing right field for us. Looks like a potential, 29 years old, great hitter. Looks like he has a great arm in the outfield too. So Mookie Betts will lead our team. I can already foresee that. So that's pretty much our lineup that we're going to go into the season with. We'll see how that turns out. So that's about it, man. Like I said, we are going to take the Texas Rangers and buy that franchise, and our owner is going to change their name to the Austin Senators, which is a historic Negro League baseball team that was out in Austin, Texas. So we're renaming the Texas Rangers, moving them to Austin, and turning them into the Austin Senators. So they're going to battle in the division with the Angels, the Astros, the Mariners, and the Athletics. In the next episode, we will go ahead and start up opening day and see how this team will perform. We have a whole strategy of a way that we're going to play these games, because I'm not finna play 162 baseball games on here, man. That's going to take forever. So we have a little strategy of how we will play this season. So tune in on the next episode to find out about that. We'll go over the first month stats for batting, pitching, discuss how just overall our team looks, and if we're going to be able to accomplish some of the goals, and especially the one of making the playoffs. So we'll probably even take a look at some of our minor leaguers and see how they're doing and check in with them. So I want to thank you for tuning in to the Austin Senators franchise on MLB The Show. Black baseball at its finest. We gonna holler at y'all. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.